Hello, my friend. I'm Shannon. This is Lifestyle Manifesting. I'm talking all about making your life a manifesting lifestyle, okay? Make it feel effortless and easily because you're already manifesting everything. You've been doing it your whole entire life. Let's create that you're doing this deliberately. So I want to start off talking about living in the end, okay? What is that living in the end? I want you to tweak what you're thinking a little bit. Not necessarily living in the end, but living from the end. Living from the end. So you're actually feeling, what does that feel like if you are living from it and experiencing it, okay? So what I want to do is help you get to that place where you really feel you're living from the end, knowing you have your desire, okay? First of all, you want to remember, you are the operant power. Your imagination is creating, and everything you're thinking, all your thoughts are like seeds. So as you have a thought, it's like a seed being planted. Okay, you could also apply this to like a garden, right? You have seeds and you're planting the seeds. You're planting your thought seeds into the Garden of Eden, which is your life, right? Into your life. You're planting those seeds, okay? So let's say you're planting the seed that you're in a relationship with a specific person. You want to plant the seed and live in the end, live from the end, from the end. So imagine, you could construct a scene and imagine that you are with your specific person. Now, when you close your eyes and you're feeling this and imagining it, I want you to feel that it's right here. I want you to ask yourself, where am I? Like, ask yourself, where am I right now? Well, right now I'm in my living room, okay? Wherever you're at, you're in this room, okay? Now I want you to feel, when you're imagining your specific person, I want you to feel your specific person is in this room with you right now. You're living from the end, that they are here with you right now. Okay. I think what some people may do and not realize it is you close your eyes and you're imagining and it feels like a future event. Okay, that's still okay. But I want to help you quantum jump to manifest this right now, living from the end. Okay, so you're closing your eyes and imagining this is the room I'm in. I'm in this living room. Okay, or maybe you're closing your eyes and imagining you're waking up with your specific person in the morning. So you're imagining you're right here in your bed, waking up, and they are right next to you. So tweak that with your imaginal scene that you feel it. You feel it here, you feel it now. Okay, it's a little different than closing your eyes and imagining it's way out in the future. It's not way out here. You're imagining it right here, right now. Because remember, everything exists right now. You have the past, the present, and the future. It's all existing now. There is only the present now. We're creating in the present now. Okay? So feel it now. Imagine it now. What does that feel like now that you're creating this, constructing the scene and imagining it? How does it feel? How does it make you feel? This is you getting a little deeper into that experience, because you want this because you want the experience. You want to be with that person to have that experience, right? So I want you to be tapping into, what does that feel like to have that experience, that they are with you? You feel relieved, you feel loved. When you're living from the relationship, what are your thoughts? You're so grateful to be in a great relationship. You're grateful that you have someone with you, loves you unconditionally, right? These are the thoughts you want to live from. The thoughts you would be having if you were in the relationship. You want to live from the idea, the feeling that you embody when you're in a relationship. You're not feeling rejected or lack, or they're way out there, over there, in another place or in another city, and that they're not with you, right? You're living from the feeling and the thoughts that they are with you now. Okay, so we're practicing living in the end right now. I want you to make sure that when you're living from the end, living in the end, or living, but getting more specific, feeling it from the end of being in that moment, okay? So this will help tweak your imaginal scenes. And then through your day, I still want you to be thinking from the end, not lacking and wondering, okay, so you practiced your affirmation or imaginal scene in the morning, and then several hours later you go to work and now you look at your phone wondering, what are they doing? That's not living from the end. Living from the end is saying, wait a minute, I already planted my thought seed, my imagination, my thoughts are creating. If I planted that seed, I felt it, it feels good, I'm practicing that reality that already exists, then you don't need to be looking at your phone wondering what are they doing and where they're at. If you do that, you're not living from the end, okay? So here's how you tweak and live with the 3D reality. When you know, of course, you might look at your phone and think about it, right? You're gonna have that thought, what are they doing? Well, your goal is not to dwell in wondering what are they doing and feeling the lack and feeling the separation. Your job is to notice that maybe you don't have a message from them and say, oh, that's okay, because I already planted the seed, I'm living in the end. That is my desire already, okay? There is movement. Your job is to tell yourself that there is movement. It is moving. And even if you don't see it, it's moving. So there's nothing to worry about. You build your own faith. You build faith, you build belief, okay? You remind yourself, continue to remind yourself, because at some point you won't need to continue to remind yourself. It's usually just in the beginning because you're thinking differently. Plus you did not realize you were the causation. But now that you know that you are the cause and that's the effect, well, you see, these are different things you can be reminding yourself in the moment. When the 3D feels, let's say you're feeling anxiety because you didn't hear a response or nothing, it doesn't feel like there's movement, right? If there doesn't feel like there's movement, that's your thoughts that are not living from the end. Those are thoughts of separation, okay? Your job is to recognize that and say, wait a minute, I'm the operant power. I planted the seed. There's nothing to worry about, okay? I planted the seed, even though I don't see anything, I know things are moving towards me. I know this reality exists, and I know that I've already practiced living in the end, okay? And then for some people, they want to continue to affirm because you're practicing a reality that already exists, right? You're practicing the reality that already exists, and you're practicing feeling it. You're practicing imagining it. You're practicing it. And this is why you persist in your affirmation, because you're practicing it till it feels natural. It feels more natural and more normal, okay? Because the very first time you affirm it, it doesn't feel natural and normal, right? The more you practice it, it's feeling natural. It's feeling normal. Your job is really just to convince yourself of this reality. So when will it happen? It will happen when you release the resistance and the doubt, and that it's when you persuade yourself, that's when it will happen. So I wanted to start this video talking all about living in the end, living from the end, creating your imaginal scenes and knowing it into being, okay? An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will manifest, okay? These are Neville Goddard's words. An assumption, though false, when persisted in, will manifest. Okay, so right now, you could even say, what I'm living right now, this was just an assumption, and it's false, okay? You decide what's true. You have the power to decide what's true. All right, I'm gonna answer some questions for a little bit. How is everybody? Hello. Pleasure to see everyone. Is self-concept essentially affirmations about yourself? Yeah, well, okay, so there are self-concept. There are many different areas, probably infinite areas of self-concept. So self-concept is how do you see yourself? But not only how you see yourself and how you perceive yourself, but how do you see yourself in relationship to your specific person, to your family, with your job, and how do they see you? Okay, so you can work on your self-concept in every area. Personally, I also work on my self-concept as a powerful manifester. I see myself who's really good at manifesting, who's really powerful, and I created that. It was a deliberate creation. I also created deliberately that I'm confident, that I am beautiful. So how I perceive myself as a priority, as number one, okay? How do you manifest an apology? All right, well, so imagine that you receive the apology. Who is this person you want to apologize to you? How would you feel if they apologized to you? Okay, here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to wonder, when are they going to apologize to me? Why did they do that to me? Okay, because you're in the questioning. You're in a whole state of questioning. Why? And that means you don't have your apology. Okay, so you want to shift your focus and attention onto the experience you want and what you want to feel, right? I intend that they're apologizing to me. And how would you feel if they were apologizing? Well, you'd feel really happy, or you'd feel excited, or it would just make you feel more calm and at ease. Okay? Maybe it makes you feel forgiving. So you want to feel and think from the place of having that apology. You can do this by setting an intention. I intend they're apologizing to me. And then you imagine, what does that look like? Why does sometimes the old story pop up in our mind after persisting? It's all right. You know what? Don't make it a big deal. Don't make it a big deal. So the old story might pop up. I think it might pop up and then you're reacting to it, even though it's a minimal reaction to it, but you're noticing it enough to bring it to your awareness and keep it in your consciousness, in your experience. But you could do this. You could just go, old story, no big deal. You're so powerful that even if the old story does pop up, it's not a big deal. Yep. Okay. Blake, how can I stop obsessing over the third party? Thinking of them, take away the focus in them. Well, you do that by focusing on you. Okay. You have to focus on yourself. You see yourself in the best light as the greatest. Like, why would they want to be with anyone but me? That's where you want to be. Okay. So there is a third party that is in place because of you. Okay. Are you putting too much attention on them, or that third party and specific person? Are you wondering, what does that person have that I don't have? Because all those thoughts just keep that third party in place, because you're putting attention on them. You shift your focus and attention to yourself. You work on your self-concept, seeing yourself as the best, only option, the priority. And that's how you do that. Now, other ways you could do it, maybe you need to fill your life with some things that live your joy. If you're living your joy, you're not spending time thinking about anyone else's life and relationships. If you're living your joy, which is, by the way, living from the end, living your joy is living from the end. Bring things into your life that you're passionate about. Find your own passions. Get involved in things that keep your mind, that you enjoy, but also keep your mind in being mindful. Okay, whether you're learning a new skill and become mindful and in the present moment, you'll be so involved in your own life, it won't feel like there's something missing. We want to manifest a specific person in our life because it feels like there's something empty or missing. So what you could be doing is filling your life. It doesn't mean you have to be on the go, but you fill your life feeling fulfilled and content. All right, is daydreaming the same as visualize? From my perspective, I consider daydreaming visualizing. Okay, the thing is, when you're it feels very dreamy, but don't make it feel like it's dreamy and far away. Like you're daydreaming, visualizing. Okay, I look at it through the perspective, it is the same thing. And I dream from being in that place, okay? So I think what some people might perceive as daydreaming is maybe you're looking at it in third person. Look more from the first person, right? Look from the feeling you have. Look from how that feels, how that looks to you, to be in that dream, whether it's being in your dream house, what does that feel like to you? Being in your dream relationship, what does that feel like to you? Being in your dream car, what does that feel like? To drive it, what does it smell like? What does it look like? How do you feel? Sunshine, do you think it's bad to focus on the when or the general timeline we expect to receive? If you feel like you're having resistance, don't focus. There's only the present moment. So don't worry about the when. I mean, you can manifest by a certain date. Yeah, I do remember you asking this in a previous, and I was trying to remember what it was exactly. Maybe you said you want to be married. But just start imagining there is no when if you already have it. You're not worried about the when. Get to a stronger place of knowing it's already yours. Because if it's already yours, you're not wondering when. You're not focused so much on the when. If you planted the seed, you decided it's done, you don't even need, you can affirm it just because it feels good and you like that, but you decide it's already mine, right? You decide it's already yours. Revision, is it a must? No, it's not a must. I went through different times of my life where I didn't really revise as much. I find that I am revising more and more, like just even little things that I like to do. So Neville Goddard had some suggestions to revise the day every night. Every night when you go to bed, you could be revising. Anything that didn't go the way you wanted it to go, revise it as if it went that way. If you understand that the past doesn't even exist, only the present moment exists, the past is just a memory. You could replace that memory, and you replace the memory. When you replace the memory, it will change your future outcome. I had great movement, even met his kids, but then he went back to no contact, not sure how to keep this going. Okay, or how to keep doing this. All right, well, here, so once whatever happened, how did you feel? All of a sudden, you paid too much attention to the outer reality instead of going within. You create from within first, so you need to be reminded of that. Keep reminding yourself of that. I'm here to remind you. You're the creator. It has nothing to do. That person is only reflecting back to you whatever story is playing around the narrative in your mind. They're only reflection. So what do? You affirm the reality you want. Live from the end, knowing it's yours. But every time you focus on the story you don't like and what's happening and you don't feel like you have it, that's what you're continuing to create, okay? Or you have hot and cold behavior. Your job is to focus on the one story, and the one story until it's completely solid and reflects back to you what you want to experience, you affirm that in your mind. Or you just know it. You affirm it basically until you know it. At some point, you may not even need to affirm it anymore. Okay? At some point, you might just feel like, you'll see some movement. You're like, yep, it's all working. It's all happening. Okay? Now, when you have a doubt, that's when you reaffirm. If you start wondering what's going on, then you catch yourself and say, wait a minute. You don't want to do that, right? You want to catch yourself and say, wait a minute, I want to be affirming the reality that I want. I want to affirm the experience I want. I want to affirm living from the end. I want to affirm that I planted the seed and it's done. All right, so by the way, remember, there's only the present moment. Don't think that you need to affirm for 5 days, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days before you get your manifestation. I want you to know it's right now. It's already yours right now. This is you practicing being in that reality and knowing that. Meg, you have 2 parts here. Okay, Shannon, did my poor self-concept attract a friends with benefits situation to begin with? If so, if I improve my self-concept, can I change that person in my reality to, yes, you can change this to a committed relationship. I haven't talked to you, so I don't know how the friends with benefits situation came about. Like, what is your belief? Maybe your belief was about that person, that they're not the type of person that wants to be in a relationship. They're the type of person, maybe because we do have judgments and stereotypes. So is it from that, or did you'll be able to figure it out, or this is stuff I do with clients. I help them figure out where the story came from, right? You can surely figure this out yourself, but did you feel like, if you dig deep inside, did you feel like I don't know if I want a relationship. I don't know if I'm worthy of a relationship. I feel insecure. I'm not sure. I'll just take what I can get. Okay. So you can figure that out, or join my group. I have a coaching group that's a monthly paid fee, and it helps support your beliefs and find out. I have workshops every day talking about that, and you can send me personal messages there. But here's what you want to do. Yes, no matter what, work on self-concept. I think I'm always working on self-concept because I always see we could be bigger and bigger and better, right? And we're always growing and evolving. So your self-concept, you want to get clear on who are you. The more clear on you knowing who you are is going to reflect a world that you know who you are. If you know you're a person who has standards way up here, do you have standards way up here? Then people will meet your standards. If you know you're a person who's respected, who's a priority, who has boundaries, who has standards, so work on those. Work on that. Make sure that people are reflecting that, okay? Now, even if you started out friends with benefits, yes, here's what you do in this situation. You start affirming, working on self-concept. You're not taking, just little breadcrumbs. You have what you expect and what you want to receive. You could even turn down that person if they say, hey, let's hang out tonight. Okay, it's your choice. You could say, sure, let's hang out. Whatever happens, just make it mean they want to hang out with you because they like you. They want to be in a relationship with you. Remember, it's also about the story. So the story you tell yourself. So it's not like you have to totally turn them down. If you want to see them and spend time and get intimate with them, go for that. You could also say, no, I don't want to do that. And then in your mind, you're working on yourself. You only want them to show up when they're meeting your standards, okay? Again, there are infinite ways to play this out. What experience do you want? Get more clear. You know what happens is sometimes we're just not even clear on what we want, and then our reality reflects back all these different things and ideas and perceptions and assumptions about people. And if we're not clear on what we want, now we're just subject to our unconscious random impressions on our subconscious mind. So you just have to get clear. Once you get clear, you persist in how that looks for your reality. Persist in what your expectations and your assumptions are, like in relationship to having this person in your life. All right, so you could do that. It could reflect back tonight. You could get a message saying, hey, let's actually go out to dinner tonight. Right? If you focus on that. So it's number one, focusing on self-concept, but not only for self-concept, you want to focus on the story you have with this person. What is your story with this person? Because you need to change that story. You need to also change the conception that they have of you. And you want them to see you as you're the most valuable. The reason they wanted to be with you is because they see you as the most valuable person in this world. They want to be part of your world. I'm surprised because I've been working on my self-concept and thought I was doing great. Surprising this morning, my SP has now asked for a separation. I'm in shock, but I have to correct. Okay. All right. So here's what we do first. I know it probably feels like a shock, but see if you can calm yourself down from it being a shock, because you are working on self-concept. This has to be working. Okay. But the thing is, your job is also to do this, even if the 3D reality, it means you're not totally on point with everything, right? So your job is to know your power, to know you're the creator, to know that you are the causation. When you know that you're the cause, they're the effect. Okay, do you understand that? That's powerful. It's powerful to know because they're only reflecting your belief about them, okay? So I know you feel in shock, but you calm yourself down whatever way you can. Do some breathing techniques, change the subject, go do something you enjoy. Working out is powerful because you really just let that, you let everything go, you work out in the moment, and then you feel more relieved, right? Or yoga, or whatever that is for you. Get to that place. Now start affirming. Wait a minute. I don't know how that, okay, maybe you don't know how, but you will figure it out. Just say, I don't know how this is happening. I'm working on self-concept, and this is what I want my life to look like. We are together. I am a priority. That's what I want you to be thinking about, okay? Thinking about, because guess what? They could change their mind. It's you creating that, right? You could create that they changed their mind right now and said, I don't know why I said that. I think I was scared in the moment. It's you I want to be with. So you have to keep persisting in the story you want. Practice hearing. I would write down, I think it's really powerful to write down like your inner conversations with your specific person. So write down the things you want them to hear. Not what you want them to hear, what you want them to say to you. Write down those things you want to hear from them that you would love for them to say to you. So you practice that. You practice hearing that in your mind, okay? Because you're the cause, they're the effect, okay? And you've been testing it out, right? You've been testing it, you've been saying affirmations, you've been observing your reality and watching how people reflect back to you, because you're the only person with consciousness in your reality. So everything is coming from you. You can change this right now. Affirm the reality you want. Imagine they're saying, I want to be with you. I want to work this out. You want to imagine your SP said, I have gotten more clear and I'm 100% knowing it's you I want to be with. Okay, Sarah, I was trying to manifest a bike and one showed up on my property front lawn. Can I take it? Okay, so it depends how you perceive that, right? You manifest. This is why we want to get very clear, like get more clarity or define what we manifest. Because let's say you manifest, and now this bike you did, right? First of all, say to yourself, yes, look at that, I did that. Now, did someone just leave a bike? Or could you could affirm a story that someone you know, probably someone you know left it for you to give it to you. That's the story I would affirm. So if you understand you're the causation, do you understand that this world is literally like you're writing a script and you're writing the story? You're writing the story. But if in your mind you start to wonder, what if that's someone else's bike? What if it's not for me? Well, your world will reflect it. It's someone else's bike and they're like, what are you doing? Why'd you take it? Okay, do you see how it's that literal? You could also imagine like your ride. How did you visualize the bike? Okay, visualize you're riding it. It's your bike. So when you ask also, can I take it? I mean, it's your reality. You're the creator. How do you want it to look? If it were me, I'd say, yes, this bike was for me. One of my friends left it and said, Shannon, do you want this bike? I left it on your front lawn, by the way, because I was running, I was in a rush. And that's how it would play out. But if I went back and forth wondering, I wonder, I mean, someone might come up and say, hey, why are you on my bike? And then I'll wonder, wait a minute, I thought I manifested something, but I didn't. Do you see how my mind is creating the story? So there are infinite ways it can play out. You as the creator start getting a little more specific and deliberate, okay? Because that's wonderful, you manifested that. Now manifest things that are for you to keep, for you to have, that are gifts to you, right? Affirm that someone gave it as a gift to me. How to deal with undesired thoughts. Okay, well, it's a choice. It's a choice. You need to be creating new habits of what you want to focus your attention on, okay? Because you could focus on negative circumstances and then you could just get into a habit. Really, having a thought and the same thought over and over, it's just a habit. You create a new habit of thinking about new things. The reason you have a predictable future is because when we focus on the past and we focus on past thoughts, those past thoughts just repeat itself and then you manifest basically a predictable future. So if you want to change your future, you need to change something, which means change your thoughts, change what you're imagining, change what you're thinking about. And in the beginning, you might have to you'll put effort into doing that. So in my experience, I put effort into it for not even that long of a time, and then you're transitioning to new thoughts. Once you transition to the new thoughts that are desired thoughts, it's like just part of it's like riding a bike. You just got on it and you're riding. It's not a big deal. It's like breathing, okay? So ask yourself, it's a choice. Do I want to keep choosing to think about the worst case scenario? Do I want my life? Then you get bigger picture. Well, if I keep focusing on the worst case scenario and keep focusing on my specific person without me, that will be my reality. So do I want that, or do I want to get more deliberate about my thoughts? Those are things you ask yourself. Get more deliberate on your thoughts. Go general at first. Just say, I'm going to think about my life is supposed to be good. Life is supposed to be good. My life is getting better and better. I intend it's getting better. I intend to have better thoughts. I intend to think of best case scenario. I intend to think of the good things in life. I've been trying to manifest winning money and I'm getting no results, but my friends all have. Okay, guess what? That's a manifestation. Now here's what you need to do. Stop noticing, you noticed like your friend got a result and then you're wondering, wait, they won money. Why didn't I win it? Okay, so you have to start, everything in your reality you're defining. When your friends win money, you should be thinking, yes, it's working. It's working. Abundance and money it's happening, right? It's being manifested. It's just being manifested through someone in your experience. Now, you want it to be you. Stop noticing, why am I not getting results? How come it didn't happen to me? This is the same for a specific person, by the way, right? For anything. Instead, start affirming, I intend to get, I saw my friends won. It means I'm winning. It means I'm destined to be next. I'm next. I can see it already. I intend to win. I intend to have results, okay? Now, I talked earlier about living in the end. Whether you're affirming or imagining, think from the end. Okay, what if you won that money? How are you spending it? How are you spending that money? If you're winning money all the time, you can win money all the time. How are you spending it? Start thinking about how you're spending it already, because if you were living from the end of knowing you won it, you'd be thinking about that. Okay, so let yourself think about, I'd get that and I'd buy that. Sarah, how does the past not exist? It's just a perception. It's a perception it's a perception. Our memory exists. It's a memory. And we can replace our memory. The past, the present, and future are all right here and now. Okay? Creation is complete. Everything exists right now. So you are looking, because we perceived reality to be different for a whole lifetime, right? We perceive reality to be linear. Like we have this, we're born, and now the timeline, like each year, right? That we perceive it as one timeline. It's not that, okay? Intend for your mind to expand and grow in consciousness and understanding on this, okay? And I get it. It's something that you kind of have to spend time thinking and entertaining and dwelling on, and maybe doing a little more research and finding more evidence of this truth. Everything is existing right now. So look, your whole life is all laid out right now, and you're just selecting the reality that you're in right now. How to get rid of a third party. Well, I was talking about that earlier. You, number one, focus on yourself. The reason a third party is in your life is because you put too much attention outside of you. Whether it was jealousy, I don't know what the case is in your situation, but if we hold jealousy within, our jealousy will be manifested. And usually it would be manifested in a third party, right? So if we're holding jealousy, it's manifested in a third party. If we feel insecure, like we're not chosen and I'm not the one, and how come I'm not a priority, then that would also reflect where someone, with a third party, okay? So number one, you work on self-concept. You build yourself up, create your standards, dissolve any jealousy. Everyone's yourself pushed out. There should be no reason, absolutely no reason to feel jealous or resentful. You can dissolve all those feelings because it's only a reflection. It's only showing you what you have within you. All right, so you can figure that out, right? If you need help figuring that out, join my group. We can help you there. I can help you there within the group. The link in my bio has the link. The link in my bio has another link you click on to get into try my group for 3 days for free and see how you like it. And you can private message me there and I can help you. How do you change a story? Like, do you think a new story in your head? Yeah. Okay, so when you're thinking of a new story, first of all, it's more powerful for you to have it's a deeper understanding than just, you're not changing the story and pretending. You're not blindly changing a story. You're knowing that you're the creator and the causation. That's number one. Knowing you are the causation, you are the creator, and everything in your world is a reflection of you. Everything in your world is responding to you. Okay, so how do you change the story? Well, we look at the value in what we're currently experiencing. Let's say it's an unwanted story, right? I'm just going to give that example. Experiencing something you don't like, and you're like, I don't like this. How am I going to change the story? Okay, because when we don't like something, we also want to focus on it sometimes. But you affirm, you remind yourself, right? You go into knowing you're the creator. You actually created what you didn't want. You didn't know it. It was unconscious, or it's your beliefs and assumptions, right? It's from you. So how do you change that? You know that you created it. Now you know. How do you change it? Because you're the causation. You affirm the story you want. Your thoughts create. The 3D reality is a reflection of all your past thoughts and beliefs. It's just everything from what you believe reality to be. So how do you change it? You change it by persisting in a new thought. And you say, I don't like that reality. I intend it looks like this. Okay, that person that told me they hate me, I don't want that. I actually want them to be in a relationship and love me. So what would I do? I would affirm the story. This person loves me, wants to be in a relationship with me. I would close my eyes, imagine what that looks like, and I would know that my imagine creates my reality, and it has no choice but to be to reflect or be materialized in my world. But I must persist in that reality until it reflects back. If I go back and say, no, but they told me they hate me, now I'm wavering back and forth. So you can't do that. Well, if you do that, you'll have hot and cold behavior, where one minute they might say, hey, let's get together, and the next minute they're like, no, I don't like you still. And that's why you get hot and cold behavior, because you're wavering between two stories. Your job is to get firm on one story. This is a knowing that you're the creator, okay? You're looking at reality different. First of all, you got to shift into knowing reality is different. You shift into knowing you're the creator. You're not the old version of you who didn't know that. And when you keep remembering the old reality, that's the old version of you remembering something, because you can replace that. You can revise that memory. You can revise the memory and say, you could actually remember that they always liked you. You could create that kind of memory. It all depends on your what you want to experience and how you want to do that. You know, it's all about belief and believability also. So some people believe in the unbelievable, and other people are really realistic. You know, how are you in your life? You cannot be really realistic when it comes to manifesting. You want to know that you're the creator and all things are possible. You believe in limitless possibilities. Ivy, you wanted to tell me you love the journal. Ah, awesome. Okay, so yeah, so scripting is really, so I do have a journal. I created this journal based on my own experience, because here's what the thing, when you're manifesting, you want to get clear. You get clear intent. You get clear focus on what you want. My experience was I didn't know what I wanted. I was kind of all over the place in my mind. So once I came to the realization that I had to, that everything I didn't want happened in my life because I focused on what I didn't want, I started getting very clear on what I wanted. And I wrote down on the front of my journal, everything I write in this journal becomes true. And I wrote that down, and I know the power of writing a goal, right? I know that power of writing a goal from all my conferences I've been with the entrepreneurial world. Writing something down is powerful. You're like 86% more likely to achieve it just by writing down your goal. So our desire is really the same. It's a goal. Our desire is that goal, that desired reality. So that's why I created that journal, because I wrote that on the cover. Now I started scripting everything. I got clear on what I wanted. You want to get clear on what you want. How do I want my life to look? How do I want to be treated? What do I want in a relationship? What kind of things do I want my boyfriend to tell me? What kind of car do I want to drive? Where am I living? I wrote all that down. And within 1 year, everything manifested, okay? It wasn't overnight. I persisted. I even put in there that I become instant manifester, that this is effortless, okay? So I do have a lot of instant manifestations because I've created that over time. I've created that, and now it's a belief because it keeps reflecting in my world, all right? So there is a lot of power in writing and keeping a journal because you're focused with your mind, okay? Don't let your mind waver back and forth, right? When you're imagining and affirming, it's still powerful, but I find it even more powerful in the beginning. I don't need to write as much anymore, but in the very beginning, to write it down, you're really like you're writing down and you're thinking about it. You could write down, what does my relationship look like? It looks like this. Now you're really sitting and thinking about it. Well, we have great communication. My partner always treats me like a priority. They're loving and caring. They're loyal. Like, what does this all look like? So the link in my bio has my journal. I created it through KDP on Amazon. It was easier for me because they publish, even though they take a bigger cut with the book, they publish it and send it out, and it's just so easy for me for that to go that way instead of me sending it out. But yeah, so I just created it, and by the way, like when I was younger, I was told by teachers like I wasn't creative. So this is part of your self-concept, is you get to be, don't let the outer world tell you who you are. Because I believed that. But I didn't know I was, okay? When I woke up and I was working on my self-concept, I thought, I want to be creative. I want to have creative ideas. I want to come up with brilliant ideas. I want to be inventive. I want to be creative. I intend to be like Steve Jobs with like brilliant multi-million-dollar ideas that are coming from me, okay? So you can tap into people who already are in the world or passed away. It doesn't matter if they're alive or dead, but tap into the idea of being creative and being brilliant and being a genius. You don't have to be born a genius. You can create that you are a genius right now, okay? You would do that by affirming it, and then what would that be like, okay? Now you probably want to start studying people like that. So everyone have a wonderful afternoon. I'll see you next time. I'll probably be live around the same time tomorrow. Okay, bye.